to remember that in the past, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the dragon ended up inside. This inauguration address was by riding the back of tiger ended up inside. But anyway, Japan surpassed Germany to become the world's second largest economy in 1968. Japan had the world's second largest economy through the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and 2000 until it was surpassed by China in 2010. Japan's status changed to that of the donor country after it stopped receiving new loans from the World Banks in 1967. At that time, Japan had ended up inside the German's dragon inside. How to get out escape the German's dragon body? Like a fantastic voyage? Fantastic Voyage is a 1966 American science fiction film. This is one of my favorite film movie. In the areas of genomics, biotechnology, and nanotechnology, the team of scientists sent on a bizarre experimental mission through revolutionary and yet untested process. Scientists and their special motorized vehicles miniaturized mini-size then injected into the bloodstream of a near death. A reduction to micro bio size and could last for only 1 hour. Doctor and his assistant crew are placed aboard a Navy submarine, and the remaining of the crew swam desperately to one of his eyes. They escape through a tear duct seconds before returning to normal size. After World War II, why did Japanese economy catch up process success rate so dramatically in the post-war era? Technology. Technology here included not only technical know-how relating directly to manufacturing, but also social and economic system in the institutions. Japanese post-war miracle by drawing quantitative correlation between the speed of the allocation from the farm sector and the pace of economic growth in Japan. The devastated Japanese economy rose quickly from the ashes of World War II. By 1956, real per capita GDP had overtaken the pre-war 1940 level. During the recovery period, per capita GDP rose at the average annual rate of 7%. Recovery was followed by the era of rapid growth era. Japan's economy continued growing partly due to measures laid down by the government and also due to financial aid from the US. The US decided to set up camp in Japan after World War II as an ally, and it included military personnel and civilians to try and slow down the Soviet Union's influence in the Pacific. During the economic miracle period, suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and banks decided to work together. The government accomplished this by nationalizing the employment agency. They have been under the control of individual municipalities and instituting the system whereby those agencies worked closely with the local schools to help place graduating students. A key source of young new labor, in jobs throughout the wider region. This cooperative government-supported job matching system provided the institutional foundations for key reallocation mechanisms of the post-war labor market, group employment programs that helped young people from rural communities travel to the city, and masses in search of work upon graduating from secondary school. The ministry created a synergy between the government and the private sector to improve the productivity of industries, thus leading to economic gains. The ministry was granted control over technology imports and later and control over all of Japan's imports. Importation of new affordable technology also boosted the industrial sectors. The ministry is credited with most of the economic interventions that led to the rapid growth of Japan's economy during the economic miracle period. After that, the post-war recovery period was over. It warned that the economy had exhausted the growth potential of reconstruction and impressed on the nation the need for a new growth paradigm. They are about to find themselves face to face with a very different situation. The days of economic growth beer recovery are over. Growth will be sustained by modernizations. The economy was based more on government supported and corporations patronized social market than a free market like that of the United States. Government policies shifted vast amounts of wealth to the middle class. Labor was absorbed into corporate governance with an emphasis on employment security. The revolutionary land reform bill that MacArthur pushed through the Diet allowed American-backed supported the two governments to seize land and abolished the titles of the extensive aristocracy. The bill literally ended feudalism in many parts of Japan overnight and allowed many Japanese to own lands for the first time. Recovery programs for Japan, set up by the United States, restricted imports, provided loans, and encouraged personal savings and capital investment. Many ordinary Japanese aspire to get their hands on the three C's: car and air conditioners and color TV. Between 1965 and 1970, the numbers of households that owned a car. In 1973, the Japanese economy was suffering an inflation spiral caused mainly by surging land prices triggered by a nationwide development boom. In October of that year, war broke out in the Middle East, and Arab oil-producing nation cut supplies to continue that supported Israel. Oil prices quadrupled, consumption declined, and high raw materials costs hit companies hard. By the 1980s, Japan had built up such huge trade surpluses, and the yen had become so strong that Japanese businessmen were buying up properties all over the world, and Japanese tourists were funneling out to every corner of the globe. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. Those who cannot adjust to change will be swept aside by it. Those who recognize the change and react accordingly will benefit. The successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though embattled we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out. rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and the war itself. Can we forge against these enemies a grand and global alliance, north and the south, east and the west, that can assure a more fruitful life for all mankind? Will you join in that historic effort? In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange the places with any other people or any other generations. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world. Yes, what can you do? What can we do to promote the world peace? Stay home, go home, and love your family. I will contact you as soon as I arrive at airport. See you soon. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.